Bristow is the Conservative MP for Peterborough, and last week lost his job as a parliamentary aide, a parliamentary private secretary, as a result of writing to the Prime Minister calling for a ceasefire, wanting an immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
For me, this is a question of humanity. I've spoken to a great number of my constituents. It's clear to me, and the surgeries that I've had with them, a very specific surgery in Gaza and Israel, that they expected and wanted their Member of Parliament to call for a ceasefire. That's also my own personal opinion. We are seeing horrific scenes where so many of the people who are dying in Gaza, notwithstanding the terrible attacks on the 7th of October, are children. And for me, that's not a situation that can continue. And I feel I can do a better job representing the views of my constituents from the backbenches than I could as a member of the government payroll.
I know last night you tweeted, "I will not vote against the ceasefire. To that end, I won't vote for the King's speech at all, and I will live with the consequences." Has there been any consequences since then?
What they want, obviously, are Conservative MPs to vote for the Conservative King's speech. And so saying that you're not going to vote for it on a point of principle is a sort of a grey area when it comes to the whip. Now, look, for me, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to insult the intelligence of my electorate by turning around and saying, I was away, or I was unwell, or I had urgent business in Peterborough. I wasn't away, I wasn't unwell. I made a conscious decision not to vote for the speech because I couldn't vote against a ceasefire. But let's make no mistakes. This is a political trick by the SNP. They knew that by amending the King's speech in this way, that they were putting MPs in a really difficult position. What I'm not prepared to do is to leave the people of Peterborough without the Conservative MP they voted for.
I wondered if you'd had conversations with the Prime Minister, the Chief Whip, since the vote last night. Have they said to you, yes, you can keep the whip, or they want to take the whip from you?
Well, not since last night, but I think the Chief Whip was probably sick of seeing me by the end of it yesterday. But I've not spoken to him since. But I'm hopeful that I remain a Conservative MP, and that's as I understand, that's the situation.